Hello, and welcome to Reality TV News Update, where you'll find the most recent news, entertaining moments, and exclusive behind-the-scenes content. At first, the news came in a quiet way. A brief statement was made in the early morning, and it confirmed what fans all over the world couldn't believe. Mickey Lee, the lively and enduring Big Brother Season 27 participant, had passed away unexpectedly at the age of 35. Social media erupted in shock, grief, and unanswered questions within minutes. How could someone who was so vibrant pass away so quickly? Mickey Lee was more to many viewers than just a contestant on reality television. In a game that frequently rewards emotional armor, she was a symbol of resilience, humor, and emotional honesty, someone who wore her heart on her sleeve. Fans, fellow house guests, and even longtime critics struggled to deal with her sudden death, which sent shockwaves through the Big Brother community. Mickey's final hours, those last moments before the world lost a woman who had so much more to give, were the focus of tributes. A life in the light of day and beyond. During Big Brother Season 27, when she quickly became one of the most talked-about house guests, Mickey Lee gained national attention. Mickey navigated the game with a rare combination of strategy and compassion, being intelligent, emotionally perceptive, and self-aggrandizing. She was well known for deep conversations in the late hours, unwavering loyalty to allies, and vulnerable moments that resonated with domestic viewers. However, her closest friends claimed that the Mickey that viewers of television saw was not an act. A longtime friend later revealed she was exactly the same off-camera. She felt everything fully, laughed a lot, and loved deeply. Mickey embraced life outside the house with the same enthusiasm after her time on Big Brother. She kept in touch with her fans by frequently reflecting on mental health, personal development, and the difficulties of adjusting to life after reality television fame. She discussed openly expectations, pressure, and the emotional breakdown that frequently follows sudden public attention. In spite of that sincerity, not many people thought anything was seriously wrong. The time between her death and now. Family members claim that Mickey avoided major public appearances in the days leading up to her passing. She had reportedly been recuperating and working on personal projects when she got back from visiting close friends. She was described as composed, reflective, and hopeful by those who spoke with her. A family source stated, "She sounded like she was planning for the future. That conversation didn't feel like a goodbye at all." Mickey was said to have been at home following her usual routines on her last night. She reportedly talked about upcoming plans, small things like trips she wanted to take and creative ideas she was excited about, and shared a few lighthearted texts with loved ones. There were no visible signs warning people, no dramatic posts, no ominous statements. Her loss has been so difficult to comprehend due to that normalcy. Mickey's last days. Out of respect for her family, most details about Mickey Lee's final hours have been kept private. However, what has been revealed reveals a quiet, unanticipated tragedy. Mickey reportedly began to feel unwell late that night. Although the precise time frame has not been made public, emergency services were eventually contacted. She passed away suddenly, despite efforts to assist her. Her family and friends were left in shock, and the world would soon hear the devastating news. The confirmation was final by morning. She had turned 35. Her family later requested privacy as they dealt with an unimaginable loss after authorities stated that there was no indication of foul play. They thanked fans for the overwhelming love and support, describing Mickey as a light in every room she entered in a brief statement. Shockwaves throughout the Big Brother community. Emotionally and quickly, the Big Brother family responded. Mickey's warmth, wit, and unique capacity to connect with people from all walks of life were recalled by former house guests. Others shared private messages that now felt painfully precious, while others shared photos from inside the house. One of the cast members wrote, "Mickey checked on me when cameras were off. That was the real her." A statement honoring her impact was also issued by show producers, who described her as a contestant who brought heart, honesty, and humanity to the game. The grief felt very personal to fans. Mickey's openness about fear, ambition, and self-doubt reflected aspects of themselves to many who continued to follow her long after the season ended. One fan said, "She made me feel less alone." You won't forget that, that's for sure. Unanswered concerns and public discontent. When someone dies suddenly, people often have questions. In the case of Mickey, that curiosity quickly turned into online speculation. Mickey's family stressed that her life should not be reduced to the circumstances of her death and urged the public to ignore rumors and respect their mourning process. Fans were also reminded by mental health advocates that they should respond to grief with compassion rather than conspiracy. One supporter stated, "How she lived is what matters most, and she persevered." Mickey Lee's death was unexpected, deeply tragic, and felt far beyond her immediate circle. Despite the limited official details, keeping in mind Mickey Lee's legacy. Mickey Lee, at only 35 years old, leaves behind a far greater legacy than her years. She is remembered as a competitor who played with integrity, as a friend who didn't judge others, and as a public figure who didn't pretend that life was easy. On a national stage, her willingness to be vulnerable helped start conversations about authenticity, emotional well-being, and the pressure to always be strong. Fans held online memorials, vigils by candlelight, and charity drives in her honor in the days following her death. Many chose to honor her by donating to mental health organizations, which Mickey had passionately advocated for. One fan wrote, "She taught us that being real is powerful, even when it's difficult." Mickey Lee's death was unexpected, deeply tragic, and felt far beyond her immediate circle. In the end, her final hours will always be remembered as a quiet part of a busy, important life. A life that was not defined by how it ended, but by how much it affected other people. Mickey Lee has passed away at the age of 35, but her voice, her laughter, and her courage remain. To those who watched her, supported her, and felt like they were being seen by her, Mickey Lee will always be more than just a Big Brother contestant. She will be remembered as someone who lived her life honestly and changed the world. The sudden announcement caused a great deal of silence to follow. Mickey Lee, a beloved Big Brother Season 27 star who was known for her fearless demeanor and emotional honesty, had passed away unexpectedly at the age of 35. The news seemed unbelievable to her fans, who had watched her fight for a spot on national television as she laughed, wept, and fought for it. It was like a new chapter had been cut out of a story that wasn't over yet. Within hours, tributes flooded social media. People who had watched the show for a long time, former house guests, and public figures all expressed shock and heartbreak. The same question was asked by many. How could someone so vibrant pass away so suddenly? As the world mourned, attention turned quietly to Mickey's final hours, those last moments before a bright life was tragically cut short. A star that seemed real. During Big Brother Season 27, when she stood out not only for her strategic gameplay but also for her authenticity, Mickey Lee became a household name. In a competition that was frequently characterized by deception, she did not hesitate to exhibit vulnerability. She became one of the most relatable characters of the season thanks to her heartfelt conversations with house guests and late-night diary room confessions. Mickey was liked by fans because she seemed real. She openly discussed anxiety, self-doubt, and the emotional toll of being watched around the clock. She continued to engage with fans and candidly discuss the difficulties of sudden fame after her season ended, carrying that honesty into her life outside of the show. Mickey was, according to those who knew her well, extremely creative, caring, and optimistic about the future behind the scenes. A friend shared, "She was always planning what came next. She never spoke as though she was giving up." The days prior to the tragic event, Mickey, according to reports, kept a low profile in the days leading up to her death. She had been privately resting and reconnecting with loved ones, according to sources in her family. There were no publicly visible distressing signs or alarming posts. Her conversations with friends about upcoming ideas, personal goals, and everyday life were described as typical. When she talked about the plans she wanted to pursue in the coming months, one member of the family said she sounded calm and optimistic. There was nothing in those final conversations to suggest that trouble was imminent. The loss has been even more difficult for those who loved her because of that sense of normalcy. Inside Mickey's last days. Due to her family's request for privacy during an extremely difficult time, limited information has been provided regarding Mickey Lee's final hours. It has been established that her passing was unanticipated and sudden. Mickey was thought to be at home after a routine night on her final night. She communicated via text with people who were close to her, but she did not express any immediate concerns. She is said to have started to feel sick later. Mickey passed away despite efforts to assist her. Emergency services were contacted. Later, the authorities stated that there was no evidence of wrongdoing. She passed away at the age of 35, leaving behind a devastated family and stunned fans. The news was made public the following morning. Grief and shock throughout the Big Brother community. The reaction from the Big Brother household was one of overwhelming emotion. Fellow contestants from seasons 27 and earlier shared touching memories, many of which recalled Mickey's kindness in unfilmed moments. One former guest wrote, "She checked on everyone. She checked on others even when she was struggling." In a statement honoring her impact, network representatives and producers referred to Mickey as someone who brought sincerity and heart to the show. The loss felt very personal to fans. After the season ended, many people continued to follow Mickey's journey, seeing her more than just a reality star. She was someone who reflected their own struggles and hopes. One fan wrote in a post, "She made me feel understood. That's the reason why this hurts so much." Questions, speculation, and a plea for understanding. Unlike many other sudden deaths of celebrities, rumors quickly spread online. The public should remember Mickey for how she lived her life, not how she died, according to her family. People were also reminded by mental health advocates that grief should be handled with care and respect. One supporter asserted, "When someone dies suddenly, curiosity can turn cruel. Care ought to come first." Authorities emphasized that there was no evidence of wrongdoing, despite the limited official details. The family made it abundantly clear that Mickey's story merits respect. Honoring the legacy of Mickey Lee. Even though Mickey Lee passed away far too soon, her influence continues to spread. She will be remembered as a competitor who played with honesty, as a friend who listened without judging, and as a public figure who made emotional honesty acceptable. Numerous viewers were helped to feel less alone in their struggles with her openness. In the days following her death, fans organized online memorials, shared favorite clips, and supported causes connected to mental health, an issue Mickey had spoken about publicly. A fan wrote in a post, "She showed us strength and vulnerability can coexist. That's her legacy. A life that still matters." At the age of 35, Mickey Lee still had a lot of chapters to write. Her sudden passing is a heartbreaking reminder not only of how fragile life can be, but also of how powerful authenticity can be. Her life was lived openly, with courage and honesty, even though her final hours remain private. That is also how people will remember her. Even though Mickey Lee is no longer with us, the people who watched, loved, and felt seen by her will always remember her voice, her kindness, and her influence. She was more than just a star on Big Brother. She was a light, and we will never forget that light.